And it is time to get started. Hey, welcome to At the Track Live. I am Coach James. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics, you ask? Glad you asked, even if you didn't ask. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics related topics, including, but not limited to, friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic energy, elastic force. We cover a range of science and physics related topics, and after we have learned all the science, after we've conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned. After they've selected their cars, they examine their cars, they check the speed of their cars, the weight of their cars, they check the materials the car is made from, they check the year the car was manufactured, all of the information that they can observe, they document, put into a spreadsheet, and then, after they've done all that, they set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip, and we have a tournament and race the cars, and they observe how their cars perform. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again, or would they make a different choice based on everything they've observed? So, in the end, we learn science, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars. What could be better? If you would like more information about our science program, All About Aerodynamics, you can go to our website, aaAerodynamics.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram, AA Aerodynamics. And if you want to contact me to get more information about the program, all the information you need is in the bio. And I would be happy to let you know how to bring our program to your school or your organization or your special event. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about Aerodynamics Presents At the Track Live. So what is At the Track Live? Well, before I can bring those cars in for the students to use, I have to make sure that I know which cars I'm bringing in so that I can keep them in the right order and right places. And when I bring them back, I can have them ready to go for the next group of students. And when I introduce new cars into that, when I said I bring in about 400 different cars, I bring in about 400 different cars. But totally in the fleet, all the cars that I have to choose from that I could bring in, there are 916 or 17 different cars, and I am constantly adding to that number because every time I go to a store, I go down that toy aisle and take a look at the Hot Wheels and see what's new, what's cool, what's interesting, and I end up picking up more cars than I introduce into the fleet. So At the Track Live gives me the opportunity to go into storage, get out some of those cars that I have purchased but haven't introduced into the fleet, crack those open. We can take a look at the cars, do a quick little review. I take a picture to add to the website. And then since we have new cars that are being introduced and the track is set up, we might as well have a little mini tournament. So that's what we do. We have a little mini Hot Wheels tournament to see which of the new cars is the fastest. But wait, there's more. You have the opportunity to participate because all you have to do is go to atthetrack.live and you will find that you have 3 options. One is the YouTube stream link, one is the Twitch stream link, The third option, most important, is the one that says choose your car. If you click on that link, you will be taken to this page. And on this page, all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics at the Track Live fleet are cataloged and listed. The pictures are there. You can click on a picture and you can see the car up close. And what you're doing is you're looking for the car that you think is going to be faster than the cars that I've introduced today, and that the cars that the other viewers have also picked. When you find that car, let's say you decide it's car number, let me pick a random number, 431. If you think that car number 431, which is this one, this twin mill Gen E, you say, you know what, I think the twin mill Gen E is faster than all those other cars that Coach James has introduced, I'm picking that car. Then all you have to do is take the number of that car, in this case 431, and drop that in the chat, and then I will pull that car. And then after I pull that car, it will be entered into the tournament, and we will see if your car is faster than all of the other cars. Hey, Christopher, how are you doing? Christopher is going with car number 717. Since I'm on the page, might as well scroll down to it right now. And car number 717 is this one. It's one that we put in the wind tunnel on Wednesday. It is this Toyota, oh, not that one. It's the 2020 Toyota GR Supra. And this car, we are going to, the only thing that we really don't know about this car that we're going to find out in a little while is about the weight. And other than that, we had it in the wind tunnel. We were able to take a look at it, see, the aerodynamic profile. And based on what we saw in the wind tunnel, I think that this car should be competitive, even though we don't necessarily know what other cars it's going to face. I think we have one, there's one other one, which was Roughshods pick. So we do have two, and then there's a couple other cars that I'm going to be introducing. And if we get any other, Roughshod, we're just speaking about you. Hey, never ending. We are going to see which of those cars can win the tournament, and whichever car wins the tournament has the opportunity to then become our fastest in fleet car. And the fastest in fleet car has been, and continues to be this one. It is the BlitzSpeeder. It is the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. It has had very little competition, but today that might all change. We might find the car that's going to take the BlitzSpeeder to the limit. But what we've also found out the last 2 weeks is something interesting, that the BlitzSpeeder has not really had any close races. It's had a few, the Slide Kick, and then the Gazella R when it beat it. But what we've seen the last 2 weeks is, in our races are best 2 out of 3, the Gazella has had a bad launch for the last 2 weeks in the races. And in that bad launch, something happened, something was off, and the Gazella didn't come out of the gate right, and the other car just blew it out. I mean, beat it by 10 car lengths, and just destroyed the Gazella. And then, of course, when the Gazella, we reset for the next races, it got a good launch, and it just, took care of business and beat those other cars. But it just goes to show that it is possible that the Gazella, even the Gazella, can get a bad launch. And if a car gets a bad launch, it could all be over. And that's one of the things that when you're looking to pick a car, why we're always kind of looking at the back end of the car first. And if it's not first, it's like number 2 or 1A. Because the back end, you want a car with a flat back end that presses up against the launching block, because you want as much surface area as possible pressed up against the launching block. And when we get certain cars, like we'll get into the car that Roughshods picked for today, the back end comes to a point. And so when the back ends come to a point, or they're rounded off, and there's not much surface area touching the launching block, Then the cars get, the launches they get are a little random. If a car has a flat back end and it's wide, you're going to get a pretty consistent launch from that car. But if the car happens to have a pointed back end, a rounded off back end, something else going on, it's hard to know what kind of launch that car gets. And so if a car gets a great launch, then so be it. Then it'll have a good race. If it gets a bad launch, then it's going to go off to one side or the other. And we've talked about this. It's Isaac Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if a car gets shot off to the right and rubs up against the right side of the track and hits that, there's going to be friction created when the wheels rub up against that side wall of the track. But then the car is going to bounce from the right side back to the left. And when it hits that left side, there's going to be a little more friction. It's going to bounce from the left to the right, and it's going to keep doing that, and every time it's losing a little bit more forward momentum because of that friction. So you want to have a car that is going to get a good solid launch, stay straight on the track. Usually that's wider cars are better. They don't bump around as much even if they get a bad launch. But the BlitzSpeeder, that wing in the back, helps it to get a good solid launch. Right here, all of this, it just presses right up. The wing, we've seen cars with wings kind of right at the roof line, a little bit above, do well. And I think there's just a lot of things that come into play on our track, which is a flat drag track, that make the BlitzSpeeder at this point the ideal car. When we put the cars in the wind tunnel on Wednesday, which you can watch 4 p.m., on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. When we put the cars in the wind tunnel, the BlitzSpeeder in particular, the airflow is crazy. It just hits this car, rolls up the hood, the windshield, the roof line, stays along this top roof line, which is extended all the way to the back, right to the back to this wing, and then right off the back. And what we see with some other cars, especially more traditional cars, not fantasy cars, is that airflow is not conducive to staying in a race with a car like the BlitzSpeeder. The BlitzSpeeder is at this point has been the perfect car for our track. Now the question is the BlitzSpeeder the perfect car for every track? And Never Ending, his channel Hot Wheels Racing Simulator, which if you haven't checked it out, you should, because it's, I mean, the production value is just crazy. It's like next level. And he has a gravity track and has the BlitzSpeeder. They re-released the BlitzSpeeder, and I'm very curious to tune in to see how the BlitzSpeeder does on a gravity track, because we know what it does on our track, which is a flat drag track, but there's different things that come into play. On our track, we know that the best weight is between 32 and 36 grams, but on gravity tracks, it's different. Sometimes heavier cars have a bit of an advantage. It also depends if it's a straight drag track or if it's like Never Ending's track, where there are curves and turns and twists. So there's a lot of factors that come into play, but I am very curious to hear and see his results as far as how the BlitzSpeeder performed on his tracks. So that is something that we'll be looking forward to. But the BlitzSpeeder is going to be sitting there at the end of today, waiting for whichever car happens to show up and be ready to take it on for the fastest in fleet title. But we also have a car that months ago someone picked, and we put it into the launcher. And this is sort of the bare bones launcher without all of the pieces and parts that actually make the car move. But our launcher has these two channels, and the cars just sit, they go in this channel, and then the launcher, ultimately the launching blocks push them out. Well, sometimes we have cars that are too wide to fit in here, particularly trucks. Most of the trucks, I have a whole box full of Hot Wheels trucks that are unopened just because they wouldn't fit into the launching channel. Well, sometimes we come across cars that don't fit, and something has to be done. One of the cars was this one. It was the MST-Suzuka, and the problem with this car is that, let me put it over here on the other side. Take a look. The problem with this car was that it had these little plastic body pieces that came around the bottom and wrapped up around the side of the car, and basically it made the car just too wide to fit in the launching channel. And the problem is that this car was already in the fleet. So this is a car that was in the fleet, and I didn't want to have to pull it out because that would ruin like the whole system that I've got, the numbering system. So the other day I ended up using a tool and cracking off the body panel on the left side of the car. And what was interesting is that after I took that off, you can see that right there, the little plastic body panel, it wasn't covering up the car. They actually just the metal part, they didn't extend it back as they normally would. They had a little cutout right there where the plastic part was. So when I cut the plastic off, now you just saw that the exposed metal is just going right up along the side of the car. So that was kind of an interesting little development. And the same thing in the front right there. If you look on this side, that's what it looks like. And I just assumed when I cracked this off that we would just have the regular body panel. This one that's how it looks. So I cracked that off, and now it fits into the launching channel. So I didn't feel like it needed to be symmetrical. So I didn't go in and crack off this side. I just wanted to do enough to get it into the launch channel. So it will be in there. I don't know how these openings, if that will impact the car's performance or not. It's hard to tell. But at least this car is going to be able to race, and we are finally going to see the MST-Suzuka on the track, and we will we're gonna find out, was it worth the wait, because that was months ago that someone picked it. So we're gonna have it in there. And why don't you replace that MST-Suzuka with the old MST? Well, there was another MST-Suzuka, and what we were planning to do was have a MST-Suzuka versus MST-Suzuka race, and the winner was going to get to stay in the fleet. But that's when we realized and ran into the problem with these panels. And so my bright idea was exactly what I did, cut them off. But the first time I tried to do it, I used a Dremel, and I started cutting into this plastic to get it off, and it slipped and damaged the back wheel of the other MST-Suzuka. So that car is no longer with us, and this was the last one left. And until I could figure out how to get those pieces off without damaging the car and damaging the wheels, I just decided to kind of leave it alone. And that's why this is the MST-Suzuka that is going to be representing here today. Hey Caitlin, how you doing? Let's see. Okay, so Neverending is saying that the BlitzSpeeder that he put on his track was fast, but it's not faster than the Roadster Bite, which is currently his fastest car. And he says, I'll have it in a race soon. Once I have it in a race, send the car to you to ensure it's okay. No problem. Because we've raced the BlitzSpeeder. I have 3 BlitzSpeeders. I have the one that's the champion. I have a gold one, and then I have the one that's in the stores now, the green one. And it turns out that when we race those cars, the BlitzSpeeder, when it's BlitzSpeeder versus BlitzSpeeder, the races are close, and they're so close that we know that it's not that I just happen to get a fast version of the BlitzSpeeder. No, we know that it's the design of that car that is the reason why it performs so well on our track. So when we do BlitzSpeeder versus BlitzSpeeder, I've got this one here, which you can't see because it's green and there's a green screen. And then I've got the this gold BlitzSpeeder, and we've raced them all 3 of them, and we always get the same results. So I'm definitely going to be curious to see if we can find a car that is, one, if the BlitzSpeeder is as fast on the gravity track as it is on our track, and whether or not we can find a car to beat it. But we've got the MST-Suzuka. We have Roughshod's pick, which is the Sweet 16-2, which we'll take a look at in a little while. We have Christopher's pick, which is that Toyota Supra. And Caitlin is going with car number 78. So before we do something else, let's go ahead and see which car that is. And I'll be pulling these cars later, of course. Car 78. 78 is the Exotique. I feel like the Exotique has raced, only because I remember saying the name Exotique. But maybe, maybe not. All right, let me just write that down to make sure that I have got that. It was number 78, Exotique. And we are ready. Now, let's see. If we have, we looked at the video racer a few weeks ago. I had the Hot Wheels video racer, and it was the Hot Wheels car that basically they built a car body around this little miniature camera, and you could get a first-person perspective on the cars going down the track. And I put up a little short on YouTube and I believe on Instagram, a little reel, talking about the video racer. And the issue that I ran into is that it's 12 years old, and when I plug it in, it does not hold a charge. It held the charge for about 1 or 2 minutes, and that's it. So I was thinking, all right, let me just take this apart, find the battery, replace the battery, and then have a longer charge and put this car back on the track. Turns out that I took the video racer apart. If you look on YouTube, I'll put all of this together in just one shorter video, but if you just want to see what's happened, I've gone on live a few times randomly, and the first time we were trying to take the car apart, couldn't do it because it's got these screws that have a little triangle on the head, and I had to order special bits, triangular bits, to be able to get those screws out. So then the next episode, I get the triangular bits, we get the thing taken apart, and we find the battery. But the battery, it turns out, they didn't want you to replace it, and it's not just something that you can swap in and out. So that was it was like, where do you go from there? But then I would start thinking, cameras have gotten, everything's gotten cheaper. Memory's gotten cheaper. Cameras have gotten cheaper. So let me go online and see if I can just find a small video camera, and the quality has to be better than what was in the video racer. And I went on Amazon, and weirdly, if you search under spy cameras, there are all kinds of like random things. There's like light sockets or little plugs that have a camera in it. There are teddy bears with a little camera in it. They have key fobs with a little camera in it. But the thing that I found was this one that basically looks like a USB flash drive, like a pretty big one, and it has the USB plug. But there is a camera right there, that little square right there, that's the camera. And then there's a memory card goes into the top of the USB port. And what I decided to do was just take this and then mount this to a car body, and now we've got our own video racer. So I went back and found this, the Zoom In, which I believe Christopher has mentioned this in the past, which was this Hot Wheels car that fit the GoPro. It was like the Hero 5 Session. It was like a square GoPro that sat right here, and then there was a little clip that held it in place. They don't make that GoPro anymore. So this thing had been sitting in the closet pretty much useless until the other day. So I went on and I just cut off the edges. I had to cut off these edges of the Zoom In, the GoPro. And basically, once you mount, I can mount this. It's just narrow enough that it fits on there perfectly. And I strapped it on there for a test run with a little Velcro strap just to see if it would work. And it does. It works just fine. Just like the regular video racer, except the camera, the video quality is improved. But the downside and the problem, the thing I ran into, is that the video camera weighs about 30, I think maybe 37 grams. And then this Hot Wheels car, the Zoom In, just this body, weighs about 30, 34, 37 grams roughly. So when you put this on top of this, now you've got a car that weighs in at about 70 grams. And you already know that our sweet spot is 20, well, it's ultimately what we want is not to go above 40. When we start talking about 40, that's way, way, way too big and way too heavy for a car to perform well on our track. So when we're talking about 70 grams, that's just too much. So it makes it down the track, but it's slow. So then I decided, all right, well, let's see. I like this base because it's really solid and well built, and it's got the standard Hot Wheels wheels. There's no weird gimmick wheels on it. But then I decided, let me take the bottom of the this one. This is basically the base of the video racer once we took it all apart. The problem is I can't just sit this camera on top of the wheels because then the wheels wouldn't turn. So just for a placeholder, put the dice there, and then can sit the camera on top. And so once I elevate it, then that's better because that base right there really weighs, a minimal amount. So I think it's probably about 8 grams altogether. So that's fine. It's a little weird, but and it's also not as sturdy because this whole base on this one is all this is plastic. And so I have to figure out how I would secure the camera there. So a couple of things I'm experimenting with, and on the YouTube channel, it's nothing that's at particular times, but if you just check on there, if you have the little notification bell activated, I just pop on and just mess around with these things, try it out, and once I get it all done, I'll put together a shorter video to show everything that's been involved in the process and also some footage from the car. But yeah, this is what I'm working with, trying to create just make a video racer, and then we'll get some footage from the track. But that is something that's going to be coming soon. Let's see, why don't you pick 587? Oh, all right, so let's go ahead and see what cars we are going to introduce today. I have here, we don't have too many trucks. But this one I found in storage, this custom 56 Ford truck. And I just need to check and make sure that we don't already have one. I mentioned I have a whole bag full of trucks, but they're usually too wide to fit in the launcher. And this is what is it? Custom 56. Custom 56. Let's see. Do we have one of these already in the fleet? Custom. We have a custom 59 Cadillac, but no custom 56. All right, so this one, we're going to crack this open, and hopefully it's not too wide, so I will be able to check immediately, though. All right, let's see. We got this. Will it fit? Absolutely fits. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. This is the custom 56. This is it's a good looking car. And switch over here. Take a look. And get the video going. And it seems like I was able to take care of the issue with the camera overheating, which turned out that on that particular phone, I had I think there was like a VPN app installed, and so the camera was continuously looking to do something VPN related, and that's, I think, what was causing it to overheat. We haven't had that issue since I just wiped the phone and started clean, so hopefully that is a trend that continues. Custom 56 Ford truck. I like the color on this. I like the paint job, that sort of metallic orange, coppery color, I guess like a burnt orange. The blue and white, I like the stripes, all of that. I like the blue on the wheels. All that said, I don't think this is going to be fast. I don't think it's going to be able to beat, it's definitely not going to be able to beat that Supra that Christopher's picked, and it's probably not going to beat the MST-Suzuka either, but it's good to get trucks in the mix. All the cars, I like to have a variety of cars for the students to choose from. You don't just want all of the same thing. That's no fun. Photos. And let's zoom on in. Get my still picture. Get a little extra light on this thing. And now we have car number. This is 900. Technically, this is car number 919, but I have them numbered a little differently just for my purposes. So car, let's see, what year was this manufactured? This is 2008, and we are good to go with our first truck in this case, introduced today. There's no way this is going to be fast enough to beat anything. I mean, just the aerodynamic profile alone, that air is going to hit. It's going to hit this huge frontal area, come up over the top, spill around the sides, then hit this windshield that's pretty much just this 90-degree angle right here. Yeah, there's not a lot of hope for this, but if one day we have just an all-truck race, maybe it could be one of the fastest trucks, although it would have to be faster than the Draftnator, which is not happening. Not with this truck. No way. But it's in the fleet, and we will see how it goes and what happens. All right, that's one down. Let's see if we have, what should be next? Oh, you know what? We're going to go with another truck, this 22 Ford Maverick Custom. Let me make sure We don't already have one. So at least that would be a good, solid matchup. Truck versus truck. 22. We have no 22. Cool. All right. Think this looks good. 22. Yeah, we're good. All right. So we've got another truck. The 22 Ford Maverick Custom. Let's crack this open and take a look. Now this truck, I didn't weigh the other truck. We know the BlitzSpeeder is at 32.4. This truck is at 37.9, which is a little outside the sweet spot. The MST-Suzuka weighs in at 38.9, so the MST-Suzuka weighs more than the truck, or more than that other Ford, and this Ford truck comes in at 36.3. So again, just slightly outside of the sweet spot, which is 32 grams to 36 grams. But we will see how this all plays out. All right, this is the truck. I might as well get the still picture first. It's right here. And now this truck, when you compare this one to the other one, this one's definitely built to race and compete, and should do very well. You're looking like at that angle between the hood and the windshield. That looks good. We've got just a better sort of aerodynamic profile. It reminds me of the Draftnator, although the Draftnator's back end was not open. The bed is covered on the Draftnator, I'm pretty sure. But this truck has a shorter bed, so maybe that will help. It's also got that wing coming off the tailgate, so it's going to press right up against that launching block, and this should be an interesting matchup because we're absolutely going Ford truck versus Ford truck. There's no question that's if that's going to happen. 22 Ford Maverick Custom. All right, as it comes around. I like the width of the car, and it's another one where they put in a little more details when you look at the headlights and the details they put in around that compared with some of the cars that just come out with just a paint job pretty much and no extra little details. All right, so we've got the Ford Maverick, the 2022 Ford Maverick. Excuse me, that looks pretty good. And since we're going trucks, we might as well throw in another. Well, it's not a truck, but we're kind of checking off a couple of boxes because I don't remember, was it Beyblader? Somebody kept picking cop cars. And every cop car. So I was in the store and I saw this and I was like, you know what? Just in case, let me grab another cop car. It is this Ford. Oh, we got this is a Ford. Okay. Ford Police Interceptor utility truck. It's just kind of the standard police SUV. It's a matchbox, so it's really detailed in terms of looking exactly like the actual real world car. And this one is listed as being from the San Diego Police Department. And we're going to crack it open. And it's going to join the fleet. And maybe this can be the first Matchbox car. Not the first. But Matchbox cars just don't. We've had some do okay. Do better than others. But they just there's something about them. Something is different about the Matchbox car versus the Hot Wheels car. And the Matchbox cars tend not to be as fast. Even the ones that I think really could be, based on everything. I think there's certain cars that they're Matchbox cars, but if they were Hot Wheels, I think they'd be much faster and do much better on our track. Let's see. This Police Interceptor weighs in at 33.2 grams, so that's not bad. We can work with that. So we've got what was the first one? A 56 Ford truck, a 2022 Ford truck, and this one is a 2023 Ford Police Interceptor utility truck. Let me put that there. And let's switch over here and take a look. This one, pretty much just a standard Ford SUV, but it's got the police designations and badges and lights and all of that. So we're going to go with the 2023 Ford Police Interceptor, and that is now in the fleet. Let me see, when was this? Maverick was manufactured in 2023. And this one, there's nothing wrong with it. But one being a Matchbox car, we know that's going to be an issue. We just know that it's going to be slower than the Hot Wheels car. It's just a fact. They just end up being slower. And the fact that it's an SUV, it's more aerodynamic than that 56 Ford Maverick, but it's not about to beat. I'm sorry, the 56 Ford pickup, but it's not. I can't see this thing beating the Maverick. So, with the trucks that we have so far, my money is on the Maverick. And then after that, I think all bets are kind of off. Okay, Never Ending is picking 587. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what 587 is. And see, 587. There are so many cars, and some of these I remember racing. The Sidekick, not to be confused with the Slide Kick. The Sidekick, this one, the Postal Express. It was called the Sidekick because this is their design for a futuristic mail truck, mail delivery car, and the side that the driver's on slides out, I guess, so that the mail carrier could slide out and get closer to the mailbox or something. I don't know. But that was an interesting pay. All right, let's see, 587. Oh, passed it. 587 would be right about here. The Dog Fighter? This is the one, the Dog Fighter? Okay. Funny thing about the Dog Fighter is the reason I remember is because when this debuted, when we first raced it, it was one of those sleeper cars. It makes no sense why this thing was as fast as it was, but it was. And this is going to be interesting to see, because I always say it's like boxing or any other sport. It's about matchups, and if the Dog Fighter gets in there against the right car, based on what I remember from the last time we saw it, who knows what could happen. We might be looking at the Dog Fighter as, I'm not going to say our next champion, but it might be have enough to win the tournament today. Will it beat the BlitzSpeeder? I don't think so. But this was this car had a surprising performance, so I can't wait to see what happens today. when we race it. So far we're looking good. We have those cars that I'm going to be pulling. We have the MST-Suzuka, which is been able now with the modification to get back on the track. We have the 56 Ford truck. We have the 22 Ford Maverick Custom, and we have the 2023 Police Interceptor, which is the Matchbox car. Let's see. Got a bag here. I've just got a bag of cars. I don't even remember what's in here, but it's just a bag of... Oh, I think we're going to... I'm sensing a theme. The first car I pull out of the... Is that another one? What? Okay. I think we've got our next two, in fact. So, I pulled out another truck. This was the first one that I grabbed out of the bag. And we're going to see if we have one of these. A 1978 Dodge Little Red Express truck. Even though it's not red, I'm going to assume that, I don't know, maybe the original one was red. Let's go ahead and take a look. I don't like to have duplicates, so I'm looking at 1978. 1978. 1970. We have a 1972, and then a Lotus Europa, and a 1980 Corvette, but nothing from 78. Let me check the 7s, because sometimes these cars are listed not as 1978, but as 78. Nope, nothing. All right, so this car is going in. We are truck heavy today, and we're going to see, because this truck definitely has a more standard kind of profile. So we might have to have this one go up against the that 56. Let me make sure it fits into the launcher. Got the launcher here. This car, it definitely fits. Let's check the weight. The weight is 34.9, so not the heaviest car that we've seen today. Manufacturing year is another 2023 edition. Let's switch over here. And now, grab this while I add it to our fleet. And we are up to 900 and... Let's see, 19, technically 900, this is the 921st car. The 1978 Dodge Little Red Express truck. Now this one, the back end is flat, which is great. Problem is the front end is also flat, and there's going to be so much air. High pressure air that just builds up right against the front of that car, that truck, that by the time the air comes up over the top, hits the windshield, goes up to the roof, and then just kind of tails off. Man, look at this. As this car comes around, look how big the grill is. It's just a big rectangular, big beefy grill, and that is that's going to slow it down. But it doesn't have to be faster than all the cars. It just needs to be faster than that pickup truck, the one pickup truck. If it can beat that out, then, hey, it could probably call it a good day. But just based on the size and shape, I don't know. That's a lot to ask. Let me grab this still picture. And get a little bit of extra light on this thing. Turn it just a little. And we now have truck number 921 in the fleet. And we are looking pretty good. I think I'm going to introduce one more car before I go and pull the others. And since we're seem to be keeping a theme, which is trucks, and then we had the truck police car, why not introduce one more police car? This Matchbox, it's a 2023 Ford Police Interceptor, which is the exact name of the other one. So I'm going to have to put on the other one, I'll put Ford 2023 Police Interceptor SUV. And then this one can just be the 2023 Ford Police Interceptor, and this is the car. So let's crack this open. It's kind of interesting when Matchbox, they have these in the box, but there's no picture of what the car looks like. Yeah, I mean, they have the kind of artist rendition and the little photorealistic picture here, but there's no actual picture of the car, and there's no window on this box to see what the car looks like. And I don't know if that's so good. I know it's easier for them to kind of stack up on a store shelf, but I want to see what the car looks like. I don't want this painting here in this drawing. When I was a kid, I had the first video game system I had was the Atari 2600, and if you would look at the covers of those games and how they painted everything and the action and all that, it looked incredible. Then you put the game in and it looked nothing like that. Especially one I remember is basketball. On the front they had guys, dunking the ball and a real action basketball shot. Turns out the game, the players, there were only 2 players, and they were all basically made out of big squares. It was terrible. Anyway, all that is to say that I don't trust what the picture on the box looks like. I want to see the car, and in this case it's pretty close. So this is it. It's a Ford Police Interceptor. Let's see what it weighs. It is a Matchbox, so I'm already inclined to think it's going to be slow. It weighs in at 27.2 grams, which is pretty good. Actually, no, that's very light. We're talking about 32 to 36 is where we want the cars to be. So this is light, and it's a Matchbox, and it's narrow. Those are not factors that you want in your car, but hey, we'll see how it does. Got our still picture there, and if I can get this rotating the right way, I will get this video. And then after that, I'm going to pull the other cars, which would be the Dog Fighter and the Exotique, the Supra, and then the Sweet 16-2. And once we get those cars, we will just be one step closer to hitting the track and finding out if any of these cars or trucks or SUVs can beat out the BlitzSpeeder. 2023 Ford Police Interceptor. I'll just put car in parentheses. And yeah, there's nothing special about this car, special enough to make me think that it's going to be a sleeper or even a car that you need to watch out for. It's a Matchbox car. It's narrow, and that pretty much just translates into being slow on the track. So we'll see how that plays out as it comes around here. Just a regular looking car. And there we go. We have car number 922 in the fleet, and it is this one. So I just need to go and pull 2 cars. So I'm going to go and do that, and it shouldn't take me very long, and then we will go over the race rules, and then we will be ready to hit the track. So I will be back in just a minute. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at, we're going to start off with Roughshode's pick, which is this one, the Sweet 16, and this one is going to be interesting because, number one, it's an open wheel car, and if we remember what happened to some other open wheel cars, most notably Forky, open wheel cars, if they get bad launches, they will hit the barrier. And if they hit the barriers, wheel first, then the axles get bent. And when the axles get bent, there's nothing we can do. So you look at Forky's left axle, completely bent. You can't bend that back. You can't fix it. And therefore the cars have to retire. We are hoping, I'm definitely hoping, that does not happen and is not the case with this pick from Roughshod. But the thing that's interesting and the thing that kind of, I don't know, is this back end. It just comes to this point. So we have no idea what kind of launch this car is going to get. But the pointed back end kind of suggests that it's going to be you know, a random launch. Like, who knows? It could be a great launch. It could be a terrible launch. But hopefully it can just, I just want it to stay on the track. Win or lose, I just want it to stay on the track, not fly off, and keep that axle intact. Because if this car crashes and the axle gets bent, it will just get replaced. It will be replaced with another car. I'm not going to buy another open wheel car to replace this one. Yeah, I believe that I do, Caitlin. I have yours, which is, oh wait, first let me see what Roughshode's car weighs. It weighs in at 37.8 grams. So we've got that one. And Caitlin's car, the Exotique, is weighing in at 29.2 grams, and there it is. It is like a fantasy supercar, hypercar, and I think when we look at that back end, it's not completely flat. It's got a little bit of a curve to it, but I think it's flat enough that it should press up against the launching block pretty well. The air should be able to flow right over, under, and around this car. And if it has raced recently, I don't remember how it did, but just looking at it and based on everything we've seen before, I think this should do well. So we've got the Exotique in there. Let's see, Christopher picked this 2020 Toyota Supra, and Let me see what it's weighing in at. Oh, turns out I need to change the battery on the scale. So it is going to be a mystery because I don't want you to have to wait while I do that. And it seems uninterested in just giving me, sometimes these things will have like a little bit more battery juice left and you can get one more measurement out of it. So we'll have to weigh that one after the fact. But the Supra, we put it into the wind tunnel and it looked good. And it's got the wing, the flat wing at the back end that's going to press right up against the launching block. The wing is right at the roof line, which is good. The frontal area, it's a little bigger, but not so big that it should create a huge problem for this car. So I expect this one to do well. If this one ends up in the finals, I will not be surprised at all. And that is one we have. And then we have, of course, we have this one. This is the most unique pick, the boldest pick. It is the Dog Fighter. It is this kind of plane, old school prop jet plane turned into a car. It's hard to explain. It's almost like a plane they just took off the wings and put it on a trailer. All that yellow part is metal. And the base is plastic. I can't tell right offhand if that the gold part on the bottom is metal, but this is an interesting car. Like I said, when it was in the races the last time, it was definitely the surprise car of the day, and we're going to see if it can match that that performance again today. And when we talk about the back end, this is all that's touching the launching block. And look how narrow that is. That is super narrow. So that is all that is going to be touching the launching block, just this bottom portion. And I don't know, if this car gets a good launch, kind of like Rough Shot Sweet 16, if it gets a good launch, anything can happen. So these are the cars that we have ready to race today, and I think we're going to be in for a good race. We've got a bunch of trucks, so we're going to get those on the track and see what happens. And we've got two very unique viewer picks and two more traditional kind of picks. But we are about to go to the track. When we go to the track, this is what you are going to be seeing. It is our 3-camera race view. And the cars will start in the launcher at the top of the screen on the left. Our start line is up at the top. I'll give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. I will hit the switch. The cars will come firing out of the launcher from top to bottom. They will pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left and show up at the top of the screen in the middle. They will go from top to bottom, passing out of the bottom of the screen in the middle and showing up at the top of the screen on the right. Our finish line camera view. The cars will come from top to bottom, cross the finish line, and the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A solid red light indicates the winning car, and a flashing red light indicates the losing car. Very simple. Our races are best 2 out of 3. If a car crashes and leaves the track, then that car is disqualified. If a car crashes and remains on the track, then that car has just lost. But if the car crashes, falls off the track, we just restart the race. We throw out the results, restart the race, and there we go. But if a car crashes twice consecutively, that's bad news, because that means that car is going to be disqualified. And the reason why cars that crash twice consecutively are disqualified is because if a car crashes twice consecutively in exactly the same way, that usually suggests there's a problem with that car, and the launcher, and none of that is going to be resolved just by rerunning the race a few more times. So that is how it goes. And beyond that, the cars switch lanes after each race, and that pretty much sums it up. So we are ready to hit the track, and I will see you over at the track in 30 seconds. All right, let me just check the audio, get that cable untangled. And 1, 2, yep, we are good to go. All right, we are ready for these races, and we are going to find out if any of these trucks can step up and beat the cars. We're going to find out if the Matchbox cars representing the police can take any of these races. And let's go ahead and see. It's police interceptor, SUV, trucks, MST-Suzukas. We've got some wild. The Dogfighter is the one that I want to see hit the track the most. All right, we're gonna start off police versus police. We're going to go Matchbox, and guarantee that at least one of these Matchbox cars moves into the next round. It is going to be the Police Interceptor SUV against the Police Interceptor car. So they're both 2023 models, and we'll see what happens. I replaced the elastic band in the launcher, so we should get some good fast races and possibly some spectacular crashes. I just hope that the crashes don't involve the Sweet 16 too. All right, here we go. We've got the SUV Police Interceptor in lane 2. We have the Police Interceptor car in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Ooh, first on the scene is the SUV beating out the car. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that car was pretty light. I think it was in the 20-something range, which is far below what we think of as the sweet spot. And when cars get too light, they are more likely to be impacted, especially at the back end of our track, by drag, just getting slowed down, and it eventually catches up to them, and you start to notice toward the back end. But that's just one race. Our races are best 2 out of 3, so we're switching lanes, putting the SUV Police Interceptor in lane 1 and the car Police Interceptor in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Ooh. Okay. The car took that one. So now our police showdown is going to come down to a third and final race. We are going to put the car is going to move back over to lane number 1, and the SUV is going to be in lane 2. And we will see. These cars, I mean, it's Matchbox versus Matchbox, so I don't want to read too much into it, but they seem like they're moving at a pretty good speed down the track. So that's a good sign for the races that are coming up. All right, we've got the SUV in lane 2. We've got the police Interceptor car in lane 1. This is race number 3. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. That was a very close race, but it is the SUV that will be moving on, and the other police car will pull over to the side of the road and turn off its engine. We are now moving on. We are going to see, how about we get into one of these truck matchups, and we'll go with the two least aerodynamic trucks, and that will be the, what was that, a 56 Ford? Yeah, the 56 Custom Ford will go up against the 78 Dodge. So we will see here which of these two cars, which aren't exactly the most aerodynamic, they're not the pictures of aerodynamicism, but we're gonna see, because one of them's got to come out on top. Just like with the Matchbox race, we're guaranteeing that one of these cars moves into the next round. So we've got the Dodge, the 78 Dodge in lane 1. We've got the 56 Ford in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. All right, so we're going to run that race again, because it turns out that the Ford is a little too tall, and it got jammed up in the with the cover, on the acrylic cover. So I'm going to have to put the taller acrylic cover on, the one that is used for, surprise, surprise, taller vehicles. Mostly trucks, but every once in a while we have some kind of fantasy car that's uniquely tall. So let's get these lined up again and see how this kind of plays out. Alright, so the Ford is in lane 2, and the Dodge, 78 Dodge, is in lane 1. Race number 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Ford took it. That was a pretty good race. It looked like the Dodge was trying to gain. Sometimes we see that. We saw it a lot last week with the high voltage, where that car would start off even or behind, and then toward the back end of the track just start picking up ground as the other car would slow, and it would made some comebacks. But that was not the case with the Dodge. It was gaining ground, but not fast enough to win the race. So we're switching lanes. We've got the Dodge in lane 2. We've got the Ford in lane 1. Race number 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. The Dodge takes it. Lane 2 is hot today. The Dodge takes it. So we are going to race number 3, and that should settle this matchup. Send one of these cars on to the next round. Let's see. The Dodge, I don't know if either of these cars is going to be faster than that 22 Maverick, but that's for later. That's a later discussion, a later topic, because what we're dealing with right now is trying to see whether or not this Dodge or Ford is going to move on. We have the Dodge in lane 1. We have the Ford in lane 2. And we are ready to go. Race number 3. Ford lane 2, Dodge lane 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. So the Dodge lost that race, and the Ford will be moving on. But the Dodge, oh man, it came out of the launching block. It went up on 2 wheels, and then it corrected itself on the track. But what usually happens when cars do that is the time that it takes for them to get right back on the track is time that they lose in the race. So while the Dodge was correcting itself on the track, the other car just went right by it. So that was a wrap. All right, let's go. We're going to go with the MST-Suzuka against Christopher Supra and see how this race matchup goes. The MST-Suzuka had to get a modification. I don't usually modify my cars. The only time I've done that, made any kind of modification, is when it's been necessary to get a car to fit into the launching block. So that is it. So the MST-Suzuka, which was also a heavier car, is in lane 1, and the Supra is in lane 2. And MST-Suzuka for the first time on our track. Here we go. MST-Suzuka lane 1, and the 20 Supra is in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Wow, that was close. The MST-Suzuka pulled it out at the end. From where I was sitting, I couldn't tell which car was in the lead, and I had to rely on the lights at the end of the track, and the solid red light indicates that the MST-Suzuka took that race. So we are going to switch lanes, and we are going to see if, once again, we will go to a third and final race. Let's get these cars all lined up. The Supra is now in lane 1. And we have the MST-Suzuka in lane 2. Lined up. Ready to go. Oh, rolled forward just a little bit. Got to get it. I want the cars pressed right up against the launching block. All right. MST-Suzuka lane 2 and the 20 Supra in lane 1. Race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Supra held on to take the race. The MST-Suzuka was closing, and that's something that I'm seeing. Maybe I'm just taking more notice of it recently. But these cars that are closing the gap late, what it means is the other car is slowing down. And the other car is slowing down due to the combination of drag, friction, gravity. But as long as you cross that finish line first, it doesn't really matter. All right, we're going to switch these up and see which car is going to take this third and final race, and move on to the next stage. We have the Supra is going to be in lane 2. Get this straightened out. Supra's in lane 2. And MST-Suzuka is in lane 1. Race number 3. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. In the MST-Suzuka, it was close at the beginning. Then the Supra pulled ahead in that middle section of the track, and then the Suzuka was able to just close the gap at the end. And it was a mirror image of the first race. and the MST-Suzuka just closed that gap right at the end, and boom, it is now moving on and joining the police Interceptor SUV and the 35, why do I keep saying 35? 56 Ford truck. All right, MST-Suzuka. Now, let's go. We're going to go with the two most unique cars of the day. It's going to be Roughshod Sweet 16 2 against the Dogfighter. And I don't know how this is going to turn out, of course. First, I got to check the Dogfighter, see, yep, it's going to need the taller acrylic cover, because it is a tall car. So we're going to put the Dogfighter in lane 1, line it up, and it's just got that one part of the tail touching the launching block. We've got the Sweet 16 2, which is the open wheel car that's got a point at the back. So both of these cars only have a small part of their frame touching the launching block, which is usually not a good thing, but we're going to see how it works out today. So Sweet 16 2 in lane 1, we have the Dogfighter in lane 1. I'm sorry, Dogfighter in lane 1, Sweet 16 2 in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Sweet 16 hit the barrier and crashed. Let's check it and see. It's a question about that axle. Is that axle, are we good? The axle does not appear to have been bent, so we're good. We're going to line them up again and throw out the results of that race and see if we can get a good result. I was a little nervous going to pick that car up because I didn't want to see the axle bent. But hey, it's part of the game. Injuries are part of the Hot Wheels drag racing game, and you got to be prepared for it. So we're lining these up again. The Dogfighter in lane 1, Sweet 16 2 in lane 2, and this is race 1, the restart. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Okay, both cars got moving down the track. Dogfighter took it, and the Dogfighter, when it raced the last time, it was the surprise car of the day, and I don't know if it's as much of a surprise against the Sweet 16 2 as it was against the other cars it faced, but hey, it took that race. We're going to see if the Sweet 16 2 can even things up and force yet another third and final race. Let's go here, get everything set. I'm not really seeing anything from any of these cars today so far that suggests we've come across the one that's going to challenge the BlitzSpeeder. But we're having some entertaining races along the way, and that's good. All right, so we've got the Sweet 16 2 set up now in lane 1, and the Dogfighter set up in lane 2. Race number 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Dogfighter took that one again. So the Dogfighter is moving on. We are going to see if it's got enough to beat out some of these other cars. The Sweet 16 too, it's hard to tell with that thing what kind of launches it was getting. It crashed the one time, which was not what we wanted to see, but fortunately the axle didn't bend, so it was able to continue on. And we'll have to see which pick Roughshod makes in the weeks for next week. But for right now, we still haven't figured out which car is going to be representing against the BlitzSpeeder in the final. So now we're left with the Exotique against the 22 Ford Maverick, which this should be an interesting matchup, because that Maverick, of the trucks that we had in the race today, in the tournament, I think the Maverick is best suited to do well. The aerodynamic profile, the shape of it, I think this is going to be a top car. But we'll see, because the Exotique is just perfectly suited to do well on the track in terms of the aerodynamics, in terms of the shape and style of this car. So let's see. We've got the Exotique in lane 2. We have the Ford Maverick, the 2022 edition, in lane 1. This is race number 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Okay, that Maverick had some speed. That was the first race today where I've looked at the car and thought, okay, now we're seeing some speed. Everything else has just been, the cars are competitive, but yeah, this was different. That Maverick showed some speed. That was, dare I say, it was almost like Draft Nader. I was having Draft Nader flashbacks. But we are going to see. Could have been a fluke. Could have just been one of those things. So let's see. We are going to line up the Exotique in lane 1. We are going to drop the Ford Maverick into lane number 2. And the Exotique kind of pulled away from the launching block, which we can't have that happen. And now the Ford wants to do the same thing. Have to have these cars pressed right up against the launching block. There's no other way to do this, because we have to have these cars, they have to get pushed out of the launching block. If they are just a couple of millimeters away from the launching block, they will get punched. And when they get punched, then they're more likely to crash, have other strange things happen down the track. So, all right, Exotique is in lane 1. The Ford Maverick is in lane 2. This is race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Exotique crashes in somewhat spectacular fashion. But the good news is that it crashed and left the track. Because what you don't want to have happen is you don't want to crash, land upside down on your roof, and still be on the track, because then you've just lost the race. At least in this case, for the Exotique, there's going to be a restart. So we will see if it can stay on the track, which we know, generally speaking, it can. We also tend to see more crashes when I have replaced the elastic band in the launcher, because a tighter, stronger band means that when we stretch it, it's going to have more potential energy and much more kinetic energy when it's released, and that elastic force is at work. So we're restarting this race. We've got the Exotique in lane 1. We've got the custom Ford Maverick 2022 edition in lane 2, race number 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. That Maverick's not playing. That was an impressive display, and I think we may have a serious challenger for the BlitzSpeeder. But we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. Maybe the Exotique isn't as fast as advertised or as fast as I thought. But just looking at it, that Maverick is definitely the fastest car we've seen on the track today. So it has beaten out the Exotique. And now we're down to the dogfighter, the MST-Suzuka, the Police Interceptor SUV, and that truck, the 56 Ford custom, let's see, get all these over here. We're going to go, since the Maverick is already on the track, let's go, no, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go with the Police Interceptor against the custom 56 Ford truck. And the Ford truck, I have to put in the taller acrylic cover because the cab is just a little too tall, but that's okay. We'll make those accommodations. Get the Ford in lane 1. We've got the Police Interceptor, which actually that one looked pretty fast too, but it was racing another Matchbox car, so how do you really know? All right, so we've got the Police Interceptor SUV in lane 2. We've got the Ford custom 56 truck in lane 1. Race number 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. The Police Interceptor took it. That Ford truck was wobbling around, back and forth. The same thing that we usually see from narrower cars, but other cars that aren't necessarily all that narrow can still do the same thing. And they just bounce back and forth, and there's enough play with cars with a normal width car that they can bounce around the track too. It's not just the skinny cars that do it. So that one was bouncing. I could just see it kind of fishtailing side to side, bouncing, ping-ponging, however you want to describe it. It was bouncing around the track. The Ford Interceptor, the Police Interceptor, just went down the track. It swayed a little, but not as much, not as noticeably. We're going to switch lanes, see what this Ford truck can do. It's now in lane 2, and the Police Interceptor SUV is now in lane 1. If I can get it to stay put. And the Police Interceptor is a Matchbox car, so Matchbox cars, that'd be crazy if this was the best performing Matchbox car. So here we go. Police Interceptor lane 1, Ford 56 truck in lane 2, race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Oh, look at the Ford. The Ford is deciding, hey, I'm not going to let a Matchbox car beat me 2 out of 3 races in a row. So we now have a tie. We are going to a third and final race. These cars are going to switch lanes, and we are going to see it. Maybe it's just a matter of the pickup truck having to get a good solid launch and not bouncing around the track, which it did in the race that it lost. So let's see how these cars finish out the day. The Ford is now in lane 1, and the Police Interceptor is in lane 2. This is race number 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. That was a close race. I still saw some wobbling from the Ford truck, and the police interceptor just went down. So the Matchbox car is one step closer. With the Ford eliminated, that means that thankfully we won't have to deal with the taller acrylic cover situation, because it just creates problems when you have one car that's taller and needs that taller cover and one car that's not. But we don't have to worry about that. So we are moving on. We are down to the MST-Suzuka, the Dogfighter, the custom Maverick, and we are going to go MST-Suzuka versus Dogfighter. This is, oh wait, see, I was just talking about not needing the taller cover. I do need it for the Dogfighter. All right, Dogfighter versus MST-Suzuka. MST-Suzuka is going to be in lane 1, lined up, ready to go, hit the track. And the Dogfighter, one of the most unique cars that we've had on the track, is in lane 2. Dogfighter lane 2, MST-Suzuka lane 1, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh, that Dogfighter is just wild. It takes off. I think at one point, I want to say I saw the propeller start to spin, which would make sense if it's designed properly, because the air would, hit it and make it spin. MST-Suzuka, you got a lot of work to do, because the Dogfighter is once again just, I don't know. You would never think, just looking at the cars, you would never think, at least I wouldn't, that this car would be fast. But I didn't pick it, so it just goes to show. Even though I'm looking at these cars all the time, have seen hundreds and hundreds of races, I don't know. And sometimes, you can see something that I can't see. And so far, the Dogfighter is proving that, hey, sometimes you got to take a chance with the wildest car you can find. All right, so now the Dogfighter has moved over to lane number 1. MST-Suzuka is in lane number 2. And the Dogfighter is looking to make it a clean sweep of the MST-Suzuka. So here we go, race number 2. Three, two, one, race. Oh, the Dogfighter just like from wire to wire, like right out of the launcher, the Dogfighter was in control of that race, never let up, never let go of the lead, and now the Dogfighter has made it into our top 3. We now have the Police Interceptor, which is going to take on the 22 Maverick. That 22 Maverick looked incredibly fast in its last race, but we're going to see. We're going to see for sure what it's got, and now that it's getting down to the wire, is it still going to look as fast, or is it one of those cars that only looks fast against lesser competition? We'll find out in a moment. We're going to put the Maverick in lane 1. We're going to put the Police Interceptor in lane 2. The Police Interceptor does not want to follow instructions. And let's see if it stays put. It is. All right, we've got the Police Interceptor in lane 2. We have the Maverick in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. I mean, on one hand, I want to think that maybe the Police Interceptor got a bad launch, because the Maverick destroyed it. Like, not even kind of close. So we're going to switch lanes, and we're going to see if that was just a fluke, or if that's just how it is, and the Maverick is as fast as advertised. It's looking like it's going to be the fact that it's as fast as advertised, but we'll see. Maverick is now switching over to lane 2. The Police Interceptor, a Matchbox car, in the semifinals, which is already an accomplishment in and of itself, but one of these days we're going to have a Matchbox car that actually seals the deal and wins the whole thing. Maybe that day is today, maybe not. Police Interceptor's in lane 1, and the 22 Ford Maverick Custom is in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. This Maverick could be the car. BlitzSpeeder may want to enjoy its last few moments as champion, because this Maverick is just wow. I mean, the Police Interceptor had been performing okay today, but that was just a destruction. But hey, there's still one more race, our finals matchup. It is the Dogfighter against the Maverick. And we're going to find out right now if the Maverick can put the Dogfighter away and face off against the BlitzSpeeder and take that fastest in fleet title, or is the Dogfighter going to take this race in what would be, I'd say it'd have to be a surprise, because other than never ending, I don't see how he knew that this car would perform the way it is. So we're going to see. We have the Dogfighter in lane 1. We have the custom Maverick Ford 2022 custom Ford Maverick in lane 2, and the Dogfighter in lane 1, race 1. This is our finals. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. The Dogfighter flew past the Maverick. I mean, maybe the Maverick looked super fast in that last race because the Interceptor wasn't as fast as advertised, but the Dogfighter is now one race away from being today's champion, and that's not something I thought I would be saying, but here we are. And we are going to find out, is the Maverick going to be able to take 2 races in a row from the Dogfighter, the most unconventional fast car we've seen? We have the Dogfighter in lane 2. We've got the Maverick in lane 1. Race number 2, here we go. This is the finals. Three, 2, 1, race. The Dogfighter took it. The Dogfighter is our champion today. And now, I forgot to bring let me grab the BlitzSpeeder. We're going to find out, can the most can the most unconventional car we've had do well on the track? Can it beat out the BlitzSpeeder? Now, one thing to note is that because of the size of the Dogfighter, we do have to use the taller acrylic cover. And there's a question of, does that hurt the smaller cars? And I would say The answer to that is probably yes. Because the whole point of the acrylic cover is that when the cars fire up out of the launcher and go into the air, they hit this acrylic cover and come down on the track. If we have to use the taller acrylic cover, then the smaller cars go up higher, hit the top, and then come back down. And what that means is it's just more trouble with the launch, more likelihood that something can go wrong, that it takes them longer to get back on the track and straightened out, versus when they're just in a matchup against another car of similar size and they're using the smaller acrylic cover. So let me see, I'm just trying to get the BlitzSpeeder lined up here. All right, so the BlitzSpeeder, our fastest in fleet champion, is in lane 1. We've got the Dogfighter in lane 2. The Dogfighter looking to take out the champ. Here we go. Fastest in fleet title on the line. Race number 1. BlitzSpeeder lane 1. Dogfighter lane 2. Race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Dogfighter took that race, beat the BlitzSpeeder. Again, we're talking about taller acrylic cover. Is that what made the difference? Or is this car simply faster? If it takes one more race, that's it. We've got a brand new champion out of absolutely seemingly nowhere. Here we go. This is race number 2. We'll see. Is the BlitzSpeeder going down? Is this unprecedented crazy rain coming to an end today at the hands of the Dogfighter? The Dogfighter, again, it's forcing us to use this taller acrylic cover. That does make a difference. It does make a difference for the smaller cars, and I'm not going to act like that is not something, but hey, you still got to race. So we're going to see. The BlitzSpeeder is now in lane 2. The Dogfighter is in lane 1. This is race number 2. Here we go. Fastest in fleet title on the line. Three, two, one, race. It's over. It's over. We have a brand new fastest in fleet champion, a brand new fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. Unbelievably, inexplicably, it is the Dogfighter. The Dogfighter just took 2 races in a row from the BlitzSpeeder, and honestly, the races were not close. And so we now, I'm going to grab these cars up. We're going to go back into the garage and take a look at our brand new fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet, the BlitzSpeeder. Unbelievable. So we've been saying for the longest time, statistically, that with over 900 cars, 800, 700, when we started saying it, cars, there had to be, odds are, that there's a car faster than the BlitzSpeeder in there. It just had to be found. And the fact of the matter is, the dogfighter has raced before. And when it did race, it did well. And I think if you go back in our Instagram profile, you'll see there's a post from back whenever the dogfighter made its appearance and did well. There's a post featuring the dogfighter, but it lost at some point along the way. And now it came back and defeated the BlitzSpeeder, which was seemingly, up until it did it, an unthinkable thing. And when you're looking at this plain car hybrid, let's start at the first thing. We've been saying for the longest time, oh, you want a wide surface area to press up against the back of the launcher. Well, the dogfighter doesn't have that, and this is the only part that was just pressed up against the launcher. But it got consistently good launches. It didn't bob from side to side. Then you just look at everything else. Well, the frontal area. This part right here, let's stop this from turning. Right here in the front, I mean, the air is hitting this. This is solid. This is not, it's not like a little pass-through. The air is hitting this copper fan area just behind the propeller, and it has to go over, under, and around. Well, obviously, in most cases, it's going to go around, and then it's got this little arch here, and the air is flowing through there. Once it does that, then you see this back area here. The air can flow through, and then the rest of it is just like a plane. But then it's got this open cockpit area right here that, is not it. That's open. So what is going on with this car? We're definitely putting this in the wind tunnel on Wednesday. Now, what I will say is that we did have to use the taller acrylic cover. And the difference between the taller cover and the standard cover is this. Let me show you. Get back here. Come on. Switch over right there. All right. So these are the two covers. Okay. This is, and it's a little hard to see, but this is the standard cover. And what happens is when the cars launch out, they tend to shoot up into the air because there's so much force. A lot of the cars shoot up. So they'll shoot up, they'll hit the top, and then they'll come back down and stay on the track. And that's how it goes. Most of the cars hit it really quickly, and it keeps them on the track. Without this, cars were flying off the track because there was just too much force coming out. And this is the way that we keep them on. So they come out, hit the top, go back down. When we have cars that are taller, like the dogfighter, I have to use this cover, which has about a 1/4 inch. It's a 1/4 inch taller. So what happens for the smaller cars is that they come out, and now when they go up, they have to go up a little higher, and then they hit, and then they come back down. And this little bit of this 1/4 inch, it makes a difference. It absolutely 100% makes a difference in the car's performance. So what happens is it creates a disadvantage for the smaller cars because they have to go up higher, they hit, and then the correction takes longer. It's just a fraction of a second, but the races are only 2 or 3 seconds long, so anything that delays the car's performance matters. With a taller car like the dogfighter, it's going to go up, but it's going to hit sooner because it's got this taller piece. So the taller piece is what hits, so it gets more of a standard performance. It kind of hits, comes back down very quickly. You know, I can't really be certain that that is exactly what the issue was, but I think it probably played into it a little bit. And I think now the Dogfighter won, and you win, and that is impressive. I think just out of for curiosity's sake, I'm gonna run these two with no cover, like no cover for either one. See what happens. We'll probably end up seeing a crash, but I'm just curious. I have to know, and I don't want to wait until next week. So the Dogfighter is going to remain our new fastest in fleet car, but we're going to the track, and I'm going to see what happens when we have both of these cars totally no covers, no protection. They're just going to be going right down the track. So I'm going to jump back over there, and we're going to take a look and see what happens. I'm going to run right back over there. Okay, this is one of those races. This is for for the sake of science, and we're gonna find out. We've got questions. We're gonna just run this. Maybe the cars crash, which is what typically would happen when we just ran the races. So we're gonna put the BlitzSpeeder in lane 1. And we're going to put the Dogfighter in lane 2 and see what's going to happen. Neither of these cars is covered. BlitzSpeeder lane 1, Dogfighter lane 2. No cover, no advantage for either car. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And there you have the perfect example of why we have the cover. So that is so much for that experiment. Let me go back into the garage because that's exactly what happens. Hang on. And there you have it. Without the covers, we pretty much can't race at the speeds we race at because there's just too much force out of that launcher. So the cars have to have a cover. And because the cars have to have covers, and because the Dogfighter, is going to require a taller cover, then what that means is some car is going to have to come out and just be fast and not need the cover. But if the BlitzSpeeder can't hang, then it is going to be some trouble. But I think now that the BlitzSpeeder has been taken out of the picture, I think, yeah. So Roughshod saying, yeah, I think I'd have to make like one lower and one taller. The problem, well, I guess I could just make it where I flip it around. If it's taller and lower, then yeah, flip it around backwards. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can make that, and once I do make it, then we may have to run this race back. But in the meantime, any car that's thinking about beating the what is this? I just forgot. The Dogfighter. Any car that's thinking about beating the Dogfighter is going to have to beat it using that taller cover. So what that means is I think it opens things back up so that cars that lost to the BlitzSpeeder, like maybe there was a reason they lost to the BlitzSpeeder because the BlitzSpeeder was fast, but maybe there's cars like, for example, the Hypertruck last week. Maybe this car doesn't need the taller cover, or doesn't need the cover, and perhaps this could beat the Dogfighter. So what it means is that we can go back now and pick some cars that maybe lost to the BlitzSpeeder in the past, but have a shot now, a new shot, because it's a new challenger and a new set of circumstances. So this really opens things up in a way that, you know, things were starting to get a little kind of narrow with the BlitzSpeeder just dominating cars left and right. But this was pretty shocking. This is probably the most shocking result, because even when the Gazella beat the BlitzSpeeder, they're two similarly kind of styled cars, so it wasn't that big of an upset. But for any car to beat the BlitzSpeeder is crazy. And for it to be this one, I can't even explain it. Everything just gets kind of thrown out the window. It will fit in the wind tunnel. It's not, yeah, because it's not that tall. And in fact, it's just that this tail is just a little bit too tall, so I have to switch to the taller cover. But it's not like a super tall car. So yeah, it's gonna fit in the wind tunnel, and we're gonna put it in there on Wednesday and really have to take a look, because this car winning kind of throws out a lot of the rules that we've been using racing these cars. And when we have picked cars, or when I'm in the store and I'm thinking about cars that can do well on the track, there's certain things that I'm looking for. This car threw all those out, all of them, and came out and took it and beat the BlitzSpeeder. That's incredible. So we have a new fastest in fleet champion. Never Ending called it with an assist from Christopher, and found the car to beat the BlitzSpeeder. Now the thing is, if somebody wants to do some real research, is all of our episodes of At the Track Live are on the YouTube channel and listed. I want to go back and see which car beat the Dogfighter, because it was absolutely beaten, but which car was it? That might be the car to pick for next week. So I see some picks in there. Roughshod is talking about car number 221, and I think Christopher has two cars, 621 and 859. So yeah, okay, and Roughshod's got two in there. So we are going to be looking at those cars. I don't know if those, it looks like some of those picks may have come in before the major upset, but we'll see how that all works out. But we have a new fastest in fleet champion for the first time since earlier this year when the BlitzSpeeder came in. So the Dogfighter, that is the car, that is the champion. Never Ending, well, he can make a different pick, but this is essentially this is his car, so he can have another pick. But this is going to be the car that he found with the assist from Christopher and took out the champions. So crazy day of racing, good races. I can't wait to get this car into the wind tunnel on Wednesday and see exactly what is going on, because I have no idea. I'm speechless. So all right, this was a good day. Appreciate you watching. All of our episodes are listed on the YouTube channel. If you'd like more information about our science program, just visit our website, aaAerodynamics.com, or the Instagram account, aaAerodynamics, and all the information you need is there. I will be popping on live at some point, trying to figure out way to make a new video racer, just figuring out which base is going to be best. I think I'm going to be testing out the speed to see which base is fastest. I just need to go buy some little Velcro strips and tabs to attach to this and attach to the different bases. But that's coming up. And then, of course, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, we're going to be here. Wind Tunnel Wednesday. The Dog Fighter is going in first. Like, ever since we've been doing Wind Tunnel Wednesday, the BlitzSpeeder has gone in first because it was our fastest in fleet champion. Not this Wednesday. This Wednesday, the Dog Fighter's going in, and I'm going to be scratching my head until Wednesday trying to figure out how it did what it did. So, yeah, I'm going to be trying to figure that out. I'm going to go watch some football. And for All About Aerodynamics, for At the Track Live, for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, and for our newest, fastest in fleet car, the Dog Fighter, I will say, until next week, see you at the races.